In this training video, we're going to take a look at some of the basic features of the InCharge Life software that you should try and set up and complete prior to your first live online training session. First of all, you should have already received your login to the software with full administrator rights. When you log in, you should see Full Administrator in the upper left of the menu. The first thing that we're going to look at is going to be under Settings and Tools. If you click on the plus sign next to the main category, that will open it up so you can see the subcategories. We're going to begin with the master information. Here, you'll want to set up the basic contact information for your company, including the address and time zone. The time zone is going to be important for calendar items to make sure that bookings and appointments sent through email are booked into other people's calendars at the correct time. You'll also want to put in your phone numbers, main contact email address, your website if you have one, and if you're going to develop a separate login on your website where staff and clients can log directly into the InCharge Life software, you'll want to put that login address under the website login field. You can get more information about that by clicking on the question mark icon to the right. As you can see here, this tells you that this URL will be included in all welcome emails sent to users as a link so they can log in to access the software. You can create a login in your own website using the login code if you choose on this page. In the top right here, there's a login tab. If we click that, that will take us to a page that gives you 4 different ways where you can create a login on your website. If you have a web developer that's built your website, you can work with them to give them these different types of code so they can help to create the login for you. The basic goal is to create a username and password field directly on your website where staff and clients can log in and access the InCharge Life software. Once you've completed this information, you can click on the Logo tab. Here, you can upload your logo, which will load in the top left of the page, and some slogan images, which will load in the top center of the page. You can also choose to set up your custom email. There's a separate video you can watch which will give you details on exactly how to set this up. Just as an overview, if the custom email setup is left blank, emails sent out by the software on your behalf will be sent through the InCharge Life no reply email address and server, meaning that when clients receive the email, it will be coming from noreply@inchargelife.com. And clients replying to that email will not get a response. If you set your own email up, then emails sent on your behalf from the software will be sent from your email server, and clients will be able to respond directly to you. The best system for this is to use a Gmail address. Keep in mind, if you're using the advanced features in the future with the automated email system, and you're sending out mass emails of 200 or more to a list of 200 or more clients, you may have issues as most email providers do not allow bulk emails to be sent all at one time. On this page, you can also customize the welcome email that will be sent to new clients. You can see the text that's hard-coded, including the word hello, and then it'll insert their first name. Below that, you can create whatever text you'd like to be sent to the clients. And then what will also be included in the email is their username and password, as well as the login, which will then link to the website login field on the previous page. These are the main points of the master information page that you'll want to set up. The other thing we'll want to take a look at is under Master Preferences. On this page, there are a few different options for how you can set up the system to your liking. For example, If you use invoice numbering and you had numbers from your previous software, or you're starting from scratch, you want to put in the last invoice number that you used, and then the software will continue from that number on, and every new invoice generated will increase the number by 1. Optionally, if you leave this blank, then whenever you create a new email in the software, it will simply use a time and date stamp as the invoice number. The barcode auto number system works fairly similar. If you add a new client and you have this number filled out, then each successive client you add to the system will increase their barcode number by 1 and assign it to them automatically. Now, if you're using key tags, it's best to leave this blank, because then when you add the client, you'll just take the key tag and scan it so that that correct number is entered on the client. Below, you'll have the default module options for clients. This is best to go through in the live training session to understand. But as a basic, it gives or controls the access that your clients have to various personal training features of the software. It's also important to fill out what fields you want to be mandatory when you're setting up new clients. That can be done with the series of checkboxes below. You can choose to make the email, address, postal code, phone number, and emergency contact mandatory, or any one or several of those fields. That means that when you're adding a new client in the software, if the field is not completed, it will not allow the staff member to pass that page without entering the information. There are several other features that you can access on this page, such as the menu colors. So you can control both your calendar color and your theme color. The theme color will change the menu color on the left and the thin lines bordering the page. There are a few colors you can choose from here at the bottom, but you can choose any color that you want to enter. Next, we're going to take a look at how you're going to add staff. For this, we're going to go under Manage Staff and Clients and click on Staff Management. Now, in this example, we have a bunch of staff added already. But if you wanted to add a new staff member, you simply click Add Staff in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you to a blank page where you can now fill out the staff's contact information. You can choose to put as much or as little information about each staff member as you want, but you must have their first name, last name, and email address filled out. You can then choose to email the staff to fill out the rest of their contact information, and also choose a username and password of their selection, and set up a PIN code, which we'll cover in a second. Or you can click Set Up Staff Now if you're either with the staff member or you want to choose their username and password and PIN code for them. Further down the page, we can see that there's a barcode field and a PIN code field at the bottom, as well as a time clock option. If you want to track shift times for your clients, you can assign them a key tag or a barcode that they can use to scan in with. And if you click the time clock feature, instead of checking them into the club as a normal client would get checked in upon scanning in, it will activate the time clock feature, meaning that the first time they check in, it will begin their shift. And when they scan again, it will end their shift, and it will calculate the time in between and put it as part of the payroll report. This is accessible under the time clock feature under Manage Staff and Clients, where you can see a summary for any individual staff or all your staff members for any date range that you choose. It's an easy way to track your staff's time. Finally, on this page, we're going to want to make sure that each staff member that completes transactions has a sold by or PIN code. This is a code that only they should know, and prevents staff from having to log in and log out every time they complete a transaction in the software. Instead, they will be required to enter a PIN code, and that PIN code will link their profile to that transaction. So you will always have a record of which staff member completed which transaction. So again, it's very important to make sure that every staff member that is going to complete transactions or sell agreements has a PIN code. Finally, as a basic setup, you're also going to want to set up your taxes. So under the billing system area, click on tax types. And here you'll have your list of current taxes. Again, if you're starting from scratch, this will be blank. You simply add the name, an optional description, and the percentage of the tax, and click Add Tax, and it will add it down below. It's best to put the percentage of the tax in the name, such as this bottom one, GST 6%. That way, if GST changes to 5% or 7%, you can create a new tax with the new name, and you'll be able to distinguish them on your invoices. These are the basic setup features that you should focus on prior to your first live training session. Thanks for your time, and best of luck with your InCharge Life software.